Alright, boys, Black Clover launched, right? We have Korean version. JP is going to come out in a couple of hours, depending on when you watch this. It's going to be at 11 p.m. EST. And what's really important is rerolling, right? You get 20 multis, and the way it works is you get 20 multis, you get to keep one. Now, obviously, people can't read Korean, so the button down here saves the multi. So when you press this, you can save the multi over the one you currently have saved. They make you save the first one, but then you press this one, you can change it, right? So this multi, if you go back, I think this is the one. No, it's not. So at some point I had very many SSRs in one multi. I had 3 SSRs in one multi. This one, right? So what I do with this one is I click the button down here, right? And you click, this was the one I had previously saved, right? And then I click the funny button here, and now it saves it. And now I have this one saved, so if I reroll more, I don't get anything good, I can still go with this one over the failures that I rolled. That's what you want to do. Now, who you want to reroll for, I made a tier list. Now, obviously the units are very different from the beta. I played a bunch of the beta, but that's why I waited to make this video, because there's a lot of very inaccurate, stupid videos right now out. They're just completely wrong. I think the only one that's like decent is Seaton's, because he said this is just based on the beta, very clearly, right? I think Shiny made a pretty funny video about it too. But for the most part, I saw a bunch of videos that are just like outright wrong. They're even wrong about like the beta experience of the units, or how like the game works. So I'm gonna make a video telling you guys the actual truth. So every unit has been changed, every card has been changed, so I have been reading through them. If you want to read through them yourself, if you're on BlueStacks, you can go on like a character. That's the way I did it, at least. You go on this one. Oh wait, if I go on Sally, doesn't let me right now. You can go on the encyclopedia of characters you don't have right now. I think, I did it like this. I went to the chat section. Regardless of how I did it, I forgot how you get the encyclopedia. I think you can just go from there. There's the encyclopedia, you can access it, and then when you access it, you can look at the characters yourself too if you want to read them yourself. Whatever, I read them all just now, all the SSRs that you can reroll for, and I can tell you right now who's the best and who's not good. They changed all of them, like legit every single one has been changed. So initially, if you asked me before I streamed, my experience from the beta, from the ones you could reroll from, I would have been like, okay, these 3 up here, right? Roll was pretty garbage, Nozel was pretty garbage. She was cool, a very quirky unit, like definitely good in the future. This guy was pretty mid too. He didn't have the support he wanted, and that's all you can reroll for. Actually, no, hold on. Where for this guy was horrible in the beta, obviously, and then where is the Lotus? Right, he was really good in the beta too, but only in PvP because he would like he pretty much just slow down enemies to the point where you just like get extra turns, and you make your opponents not be able to play the game. The thing is, it's very different now. I actually think, so, from what I've read and everything, and from what I know in the game, I still think Jack is probably the best character to reroll for. Jack is really strong. The way they changed him is, they made it so his single target, his like first skill is a single target now. And it's what his old skill used to be. And it applies bleed. It doesn't apply to everyone, it's not super broken anymore, but it's still really strong. Bleed is a good effect. They nerfed bleed though, I'm pretty sure. And his second skill is new. It buffs him. It gives him 3 different buffs. It gives him speed. It gives him crit chance. And I forgot what this one was. We can translate it like this though. Control-Shift-L on BlueStacks. Penetration, right? It was penetration. And this buff is on a 2-turn cooldown, so you pretty much always have this up. Anytime you need it, you'll have this up. And his ultimate is a big nuke, like big damage. For every buff he has, he gets more crit damage. His buff gives him crit chance. His ult gives him more crit damage. Right? He's going to be very self-sufficient on stats. He's going to do huge single target damage. That's the thing you want the most. In PvE, bosses, you don't want AoE for it because you're just going to be useless. And you want to have big single target damage. He has that. Okay, if you want AoE, the SR unit you get is crazy good. And then for his, in PvP, you want to take out specific targets. So he's going to be good for that too. Especially because his ultimate, the way he changed it, right? That he wants buffs now. Back in the day, he wanted bleeds on the enemy and he would do more damage based on them. But now he gets more buffs. The more buffs he has, and this character like William can buff now, right? He buffs allies now. It's different, right? He gives all these buffs to allies now. Noelle can buff. She can give a shield, right? She's the same unit pretty much. Changed. Oh, I don't have her. Well, Sally got changed too, right? Sally gets buffs now too. Sally used to debuff the enemies with a random debuff, and she could remove debuffs from allies and put them on enemies. She's changed now too. She buffs allies by a lot. And I wish I could open it. I'm gonna open the encyclopedia again. I'm gonna find it real quick because I have to show you. I found the button. It's just a big book. So I'm gonna assume this is just characters, right? surely. Yeah, so you can click any character here and it'll show you like the description of the skills, right? This slows his ultimate slows too. This one increases the timer on the debuff. So like if you have them slowed with a debuff and you move before the debuff expires, you can extend the debuff of this. And then apply block effect as well. So it's really strong. But we're gonna talk about like characters in order here. So Sally, where is she? Sally, she buffs now by a lot. She gives all allies, the allies she targets with her drug, she gives them. I can show you like this. She gives them crit. She gives them. I'm not too sure how this works. I don't know if this is like increase the duration of buffs. That would be broken with Jack together, and then the magic power increase, right? Now Jack wants magic power. Most characters want magic power in the game. This is a huge increase in damage. Like both this, right? The crit chance and this number will just increase, right? Because you have different levels, and then if you have a spell, it gets enhanced too and everything. That's really strong. And then her ultimate, I'm pretty sure this is all allies. She stickiness in hands. Oh no, she just gets crit damage and attack and magic power by increased by 50% to all allies of the to all allies. And then the same attribute, she gives the additional crit stuff. But what she got changed, like she so drastically changed. Because I initially had I was ready to put her in like a lower tier because I think she was too niche. But she is strong now. She's a really good support. I still think GACHA is up there. William, they changed too. William isn't super Kansas anymore. The way he works now is his single target is like sort of what his old skill used to be, but not like nearly as strong. There's a 40% chance that he stuns you pretty much. Like you turn to a tree, and then when it's your turn gets reset, and you have to wait a whole other turn to go again, right? It's really strong, but it's not like the main selling point, I think, of him anymore. He has this buff now, which is like the opposite of what he used to do, sort of. Like instead of slowing down enemies, he now just buffs allies, right? There's different chance of the buffs. He increases your speed. He increases your action. I can explain like in Honkai, like your action is advanced forward, and your attack power is increased too. I'm pretty sure this is magic attack power, by the way. I don't know if this it matters, or if it's just general attack power, like for both, that could be a case. But I'm pretty sure it's magic attack power because 99% of characters except Asta are all magic damage anyway. And his ultimate deals a bit of damage, which is weird. Like the way it worked very different from what it used to be. And now it's it gives one of your units counter, which is really, really strong, and it makes everyone take less damage. It's kind of like Goddess Lizard, sorta. If you've played Grand Cross, this is on my Black Clover channel, I know, but most of you have played Grand Cross. It's sort of like Goddess Lizard, very strong. I still think that he's definitely an S tier. Now Mars, they nerfed too. He doesn't just have a stun on his not regular skill. This just taunts now, and he has a stun on his second skill, his stun, and he can lower enemy defense. And his ultimate will extend all debuff durations on enemy. This is pretty much the same thing it was in the beta too. So he's still really strong, but I think he's probably like an A. Now the way you want to determine if you want to summon a character is you get the character and then how many skill pages you get, right? Like this multi was crazy, right? I had him and 2, and I've seen people with more, right? So if you want to reroll, you can. Now if you do your 20, you don't get anything good. What you can do is you can just you can go to settings right here. You click this. You click the little cog down here. You go to your account, and then if you're guest login, which you should be, you can delete your account here. I'll say guest something in a red button up here, and then you can delete it, right? I would suggest doing a guest login first until you find the account you like, and then you can link it to Google like I did. If you want to know how to download and everything and make it work, then watch my guide as well. Oh, actually, I'm on my main channel right now, but whatever. Watch my guide. But here, I got 2 stars here too, right? But yeah, that's the goal, right? And so for the final tier list, I think what I want to do, what I wanted to say, oh yeah, these were changed too. I think he's actually much better. I think he might be really good. The thing is, he got changed so drastically. He applies burn now, which burn is just they take more damage pretty much. And he's very changed now. He used to be also just heavily rely on enemy having burn. He's just a self-sufficient damage dealer now. The thing is with Rill, I read through Rill stuff. Rill is unfortunately not that good. Unfortunately, I think it's the worst SSR you can pull for. Nozel, wait, do I have Nozel on the list? Yeah, Nozel initially I thought was the worst one, but he's actually pretty good too. I think they're both in this tier of they're pretty good. He poisons and lowers enemy defense now, which he sort of did before. He lost sort of the tank stuff he had, but he's still solid, right? No pun intended. But he's not what he used to be. He's not like a tank anymore. He doesn't taunt and everything anymore. He is solid though. He blocks skill effect and everything. He is solid. By the way, seasonal Yami is going to be broken in PvP for sure. He has to be broken in PvP. And yeah, I was gonna go over Reroll. Yeah, so they changed Reroll. Reroll unfortunately wasn't that good in the beta, and now has a single target skill 2, AOE skill 2 instead of a counter, and the ult is also very different. It's like a random which that you can yeah, you have a chance now. It's random if you can all stun all enemies, and you can all weaken all enemies. So this one is a guaranteed. This is this is a chance, right, on your ultimate. And this one is also just the same thing. It's just so sad that like all the kits are super basic now. He just removes buffs now, and it removes he really is like what Sally was in the beta, sorta. Right? He's just like support now. He doesn't really do damage. And I feel like it's just not worth it right now. We'll have to see how the PvP meta like shapes. I can't predict the PvP meta, but from what I know from like playing PvP and everything, the ult is nice and all, but one stun ult is not that big, especially with 40% chance. You're not gonna hit it on all people. You're gonna hit on like one of them maybe, right? Where like as Mars like used to have just a 40% chance to stun someone on a single target like normally. It was broken, and now he has it on his skill, right? And you can just use his skill over rel stuff, and it's the same chance. So again, I'm not a fan of rel in the beta. We'll see, right? PvP might change things. For PvE, definitely not good. But that's all the characters you can reroll for. I think this is going to be your priority. I think Lotus is really good still in PvP. Obviously he's not the same. They made him an SSR now because I think people just use him that much in the beta. Like he's not relevant in the story whatsoever. But he like is the same thing. Like he like not the same, but he's like he just slows people down, right? He just slows people down. He extends the debuffs, sort of what like Sally used to do. No, that's what Mars used to do. He still does. It's almost like even more slows, right? Slows enemies, removes their stamina bar and everything, which is good for PvP. It's not bad in PvE either. I don't know how to rank him though, so I will just not rank him. I'm not comfortable ranking him, right? If you want my guidance though, I think these two are the best characters to roll for. I got really lucky on my account, because I got both of them, right? And I also got William's card, so that's really cool. And then I also got Asta. I didn't get his card, but I got Yami with his card. I got pretty lucky on my account, right? And now Yami looks crazy, but he's not someone you reroll for. If you do want to reroll, I think the seasonal banner is going to be your best bet. If you do want to like get your like wanted summon, then go on the banner and summon, I think this is going to be your best bet. Yami looks crazy to me. Asta is sort of the same still. His skill 2 is still just like a buff for him, and his ultimate's a nuke, but it lets him go again. So it's kind of different. And the thing is with the seasonal characters, you can also pick one. I'll make a guide on this though, but you can pick one for free, and then you can just do some missions and you get them. But yeah, that's going to be it from me, boys. Hopefully this wasn't too long. If you have any more questions, let me know. Good job.